Welcome to the deep dive. If you've ever walked through an older American city, you've seen this specific kind of structural sadness.
Hmm.
And today, we're zeroing in on one of those places, the historic 1922 JCPenney building. It's at 365 West 6th Street in San Pedro, California.
And it's such a perfect example.
It really is. I mean, you look at a structure like that, this monument to a whole other era of commerce, and you feel something, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Our source material calls it a heavy, dusty silence. You can almost feel the ghost of the bustle that used to be there.
All the shoppers, commerce flowing.
Yeah. But for years, those huge, beautiful windows just reflected traffic passing by. The building was just waiting, patiently, almost painfully.
And that waiting, that profound silence, that's really where our whole deep dive begins. That's the exact problem that the founders of the Don Allen experience, Edwin Duterte and Jennifer Wolfe, set out to solve. They looked at this 100-year-old building and they saw something really crucial. They didn't see a monument. They saw, in their words, an obsolete machine that was just waiting to be turned back on.
An obsolete machine. I like that.
What a powerful frame. And the critique they're working from, I mean, it applies to legacy downtowns everywhere, doesn't it?
It really does.
For too long, the word historic has become this polite synonym.
For obsolete.
Exactly, for obsolete. The whole retail model that built that structure, it's gone. The foot traffic is on our screens now. The building was made for a function that just doesn't exist anymore.
So it wasn't a question of just restoring it. It was a question of resurrecting it.
Right.
And the good news, based on the documents we have, is that the waiting finally ended in November 2024. The building was bought.
And their mission? This is what's so compelling. It's not about preserving the ashes.
Yeah.
It's about reigniting the fire.
Yeah.
They want to replace that heavy silence with what they hope will be a roar of digital creation.
That is a huge shift in thinking. From a memorial to, what, a factory?
A factory floor for the 21st century.
Okay, let's unpack that because that is a major strategic leap. The sources are so clear on this. They didn't buy a museum. They bought a machine.
Right.
They're taking a space that was totally designed for the consumption of goods, buying sweaters and things, and turning it into what they call a cathedral for the creation of stories.
Cathedral for creation. It's a lofty phrase, I'll admit.
It is a little lofty, yeah.
But it implies something important, right? It suggests a space for reverence, not for profit, but for the creative act itself.
It's definitely more than just another co-working space. And what's interesting is they don't see this as a break from history. They see it as an evolution. They use this great line, history is not repeating itself, it is rhyming.
And that rhyme is key. You have to go back to 1922 to really get it.
Okay.
When that JCPenney opened, it was the high tech of its day. It was incredibly disruptive. It completely wiped out the old local general store by introducing these revolutionary ideas like standardized pricing. The same price for an item in San Pedro as in, I don't know, Schenectady.
Right, and modern merchandising.
Exactly. It plugged this local port town directly into the national economy. It was a brand new engine of commerce.
So if the original store democratized access to standardized goods, what's the 2020s version democratizing?
Broadcast quality. Think about it. Back then, only a big company like JCPenney could standardize like that. Today, only big corporations can really afford constant high-quality content creation.
So they're installing the new machinery of commerce.
Precisely. They're giving the small, local entrepreneur the kind of broadcast reach that was, until now, really only for the big players. Same disruptive spirit, new digital target.
So it's not about selling a product off a shelf anymore.
No.
The new mechanism is that creation is the new foot traffic. A local baker makes a great video in the building, it goes viral.
And that drives digital sales, which in turn drives people back to the physical bakery in San Pedro. The product isn't the inventory anymore. The product is the story.
And the story makes the physical place relevant again.
That's the plan. They're using that original blueprint of innovation to define what retail means for the next century.
Okay, this is where it gets really concrete. We move from the big idea to the actual physical stuff they're building. They're literally weaving this new machinery into the bones of the old building.
Right.
And we can break it down into two main parts. The sources call them the engine and the playground.
Let's start with the engine. This is where the real work happens. It's the Voxel Micro Video Labs.
And they're putting these labs in the belly of the building, right?
Exactly. Down in the sublevel. It's where they used to store all the inventory, the boxes of clothes and products. the hidden functional heart of the old store.
That's very symbolic. The place of production is hidden, but it's the core. But hang on, let's break down the jargon. Voxel Micro Video Labs. What is a voxel?
Good question. It's basically a 3D pixel. Okay. It's the building block for 3D digital worlds. So by calling the labs voxel, they're signaling that this isn't just for making simple 2D videos. It's ready for what's next, immersive 3D, VR, AR environments.
I see. And the micro part.
That's the key for small businesses. There are 16 professional studios down there. But they're not giant, expensive sound stages. They're micro-quick, standardized, plug-and-play setups designed for rapid-fire creation.
So the whole function is flipping the space on its head. Where inventory was stored, ideas will now be broadcast.
And broadcast continuously.
16 studios, though. That sounds like a massive amount of capacity. Is that not overkill?
Well, it's designed to smash the barrier to entry. If you're
Yeah.
a small business, hiring a whole production crew is just,
Right.
it's not going to happen.
Too expensive.
But if you provide an infrastructure that standardizes the lighting, the sound, the sets, you democratize quality. The 16 studios mean you can have a massive amount of output. It turns the building into a constant broadcast node for the whole community.
Giving local businesses a global voice.
At speed and at scale.
Okay, so that's the engine. Now let's go upstairs to the street level. To component number 2, the playground. This is the public part, the San Pedro local markets.
Right. And the centerpiece of the playground is this enormous 16 by 30-foot immersive digital wall on the ground floor.
A huge screen.
More than a screen. They describe it as dynamic beacon. It's the signal to everyone walking by that the identity of this building has fundamentally changed.
And here's the aha moment. This is the connection between the engine downstairs and the playground upstairs. How do they actually work together?
They create this visible, immediate feedback loop.
Okay.
So the content that's being created in the Voxel Labs in the basement is instantly fed and celebrated on that huge digital wall upstairs.
So a creator finishes a video.
And boom, it's immediately playing on this massive living billboard on the main floor. It's a showcase for the whole community to see.
That proves the machine is working in real time.
Exactly. It shouts to everyone on the street that physical retail isn't static anymore. It's alive, it's moving, it's connected to this global digital conversation.
So the digital energy from the labs is physically manifested back out into the street. It makes the whole concept tangible.
It solves that obsolescence problem with applied visible technology.
So this whole system, the engine creating, the wall broadcasting, it replaces the static window displays of 1922. It accepts that old school foot traffic is dead, but the need for a vibrant physical hub is not.
It's a very modern, very pragmatic response to commercial decay.
And that approach, it's all driven by the people behind it. We
Yeah.
should probably introduce them properly. The Mom and Pop Holding Company, the founders, Edwin Duterte and Jennifer Wolfe.
And their titles really tell you everything.
You really do. Edwin Duterte is described as the builder and strategist. You can see his focus on the mechanics, the infrastructure, the scale. But then Jennifer Wolfe is the storyteller and healer. That's not a title you normally see in a commercial real estate deal. A marriage and family therapist. How does that fit in?
That pairing, the strategist and the healer, that is the core of the Don Allen experience. It signals right away that this isn't just some cold commercial venture.
There's something else going on.
Right. Their whole stewardship is tied to a bigger legacy, to Dr. Alan Wolfe and Dr. Donna Lee Wolfe. Their names, as they say, hang invisibly above the door.
And that provides the ethical foundation for everything. It grounds all this tech in something human.
Precisely. The core lesson they learned from the doctors is what drives the whole project. A real legacy is built by opening doors for other people, not by hoarding your own wealth.
Which explains why they'd build 16 studios for the community, not just a private headquarters for themselves.
Exactly. The building is a tool for community acceleration, for digital inclusion. It's an engine to lift people up, honoring that legacy of service.
So their ultimate goal, it's not just to sell clothes like the original store did. It's to sell the very idea of San Pedro to the world.
Using the stories that are created inside those walls.
So let's wrap up this deep dive. We started with the silence of a forgotten 1922 department store, a symbol of being obsolete. And through this very specific vision, that space is becoming a bustling, globally connected media engine for the 2020s. The Voxel Labs, the engine, and the immersive digital wall, the playground, are the mechanics of that change. The silence is gone, the lights are back on.
And broadcasting in HD.
Right.
We've covered the body, the building itself, and the machinery, the tech. But like we touched on with the founders, The source material really asks us to consider the spirit that's driving it all, the why.
Especially with that healer and strategist combination.
Exactly. This is not just a commercial project. It's built on a very explicit emotional and communal idea. And to leave you, the listener, with something to really think about, the sources pose these two powerful questions. They bridge the gap between commerce and compassion. First, why does a marriage and family therapist care so much about commercial real estate? And on the flip side, why does an investment strategist care so much about something as intangible as emotional safety in a business plan?
Those questions, they really force you to rethink the whole motivation. It's not just about the tech or the bottom line.
Not at all. The documents talk about exploring the pain of the lonely entrepreneur that struggled to get a foothold in the digital world we mentioned.
Right, the isolation.
And they talk about providing a specific healing solution to save them from that. The real meaning of the Don Allen experience seems to be anchored not just in digital architecture, but in providing actual emotional and community support for the people who will use that space.
It's a completely different way to think about modern commerce. It's human-centered.
A radically different definition.
An engine for global commerce driven by a healer's heart, all built on a 1922 blueprint. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the next century of retail.